Men and women have different needs, their basic needs, but the mega need of women is security. And the mega need of men is respect, okay? It's not saying that women don't need respect and men don't need security, but the mega need of women is security, and you're not going to succeed financially until the wife feels secure. In this session, I'm talking about building financial intimacy and partnership. I want to talk about money. People get married because of sex, money, and children, and people get divorced because of sex, money, and children. And so it's interesting that the reasons that we marry, many times the pleasure areas of marriage can become extremely painful if we don't know what we're doing. And so I want to talk about this issue of money. Marriage is the greatest wealth-producing entity on earth. Married people are much better off financially than people who are single or cohabiting. And so it's something that we need to learn how to steward. And I want to talk about, first of all, just the significance of money. Partly the significance of money is it's an everyday issue. It's not something you do every now and then. It's an everyday issue. And so we have to get it right. It's also a part of the core of marriage. Now, when the state of Texas, or whatever state or country that you're from, and welcome for all the simulcast sites, for all the people watching at home, wherever you're from, whatever state, the state looks at your marriage in three ways: sexual exclusivity, next of kin, and financial unity. That's what marriage means to the state of Texas. Sexual exclusivity, next of kin, and financial unity. That's a part of the core of marriage. In other words, it's a very important part of the reason that we're married. But also, money is an essential element of trust that develops intimacy. If you don't get money right, it's going to be hard or harder to have intimacy in marriage. And so the mega need, men and women have different needs, their basic needs, but the mega need of women is security. And the mega need of men is respect, okay? It's not saying that women don't need respect and men don't need security, but the mega need of women is security, and you're not going to succeed financially until the wife feels secure. That's the big goal. And you're not going to succeed until the husband feels respected. If the woman feels insecure, the man feels disrespected, you're not going to succeed at what you're trying to accomplish. So let me talk about 4 steps to financial intimacy and partnership. How do you succeed at having this? And by the way, this was an issue in our marriage that we couldn't talk about. Karen, this was a radioactive issue in our marriage. When we first got married, we could not talk about the issue of money. It was absolutely horrible. And so number 1 step to financial intimacy and partnership is mutual respect. And what that means is I need you. I need you to be a partner with me in finances. Now, sometimes there's chauvinism, where you'll have a man who feels as though that it's his job to run the finances, and he demeans his wife or disrespects his wife. Sometimes it's a woman who does that. Prior hurts. Sometimes you come into a marriage maybe with some prior hurts or something that caused you to be, a certain way financially. But there has to be a communication between both spouses that just simply says, we're partners. Marriage is about sharing. Okay. We get married because we want to share our lives with someone. But what ruins marriage is dominance, when someone begins to dominate the relationship. And I'll talk about that more in just a minute, but I want to talk about money languages for just a minute. So there are 4 money languages. When Karen and I first got married, of course, we fought constantly about a lot of stuff, but money was one of them. And when I became a marriage counselor, I came across an article by a doctor, Dr. Kenneth Doyle, who is a financial psychologist at the University of Minnesota. And he found that we view money in 4 different ways, that all of us have a money language, and we don't see money the same. Now, you and your spouse probably do not see money the same, and because of that, you argue or you fight or you don't get along in that area. Here are the 4 money languages that Dr. Doyle found. The first is driver. Money means success. To a driver, when they see money, to them it means success. It protects against the fear of incompetence. The second is amiable. This is my money language. Money means love. Relationships and people are the focus of their financial desires. Money means love and affection. 3 is analytic. Money means security. It wards off chaos and problems. Karen is an analytic. Number 4 is expressive. Money means acceptance and respect. Money means acceptance and the basis of relationship with desirable people. So there's the driver, money means success. Amiable, money means love. Analytic, money means security. And expressive, money means acceptance and respect. Okay, so we all speak our love. Our money languages speak love. A driver shows love by showing. He shows you something, big house, big car, whatever it is. Amiable by sharing. An analytic by saving. And these are, to amiables, these people are crazy. But they show love by saving. And expressive show love by spending and shopping. They want to make you look better, so you'll be accepted and stuff like that. So driver, amiable, analytic, expressive. So now just watch the response here. Okay. So how many of you can find yourself in one of those money languages? Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. Okay, everybody's got their hand up just about. Okay, put your hand down. Okay, so how many of you can see your spouse in one of those money languages? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay, everybody got their hand up. Okay, so how many of you are different than your spouse in your money language? Right? Oh my gosh, the hands, before I even got it out. There you go. Okay, how many of you are the same? Anybody the same here? Oh my goodness. A few. I see a few hands. You have the same money language. Okay, so every money language has a weakness. You have a strength, but you have a weakness. And so drivers can be materialistic. Analytics can be tight. They are tight. Let me just say it that way. Analytics can see money is more important than people. They can. That's not always true, but it's sometimes true. Amiables can be non-structured, not a good money manager. And expressives can use money like people use drugs to sedate. And so Karen and I got married, and I was an amiable, and she was an analytic. And Karen is a saver. Now, Karen is very generous. I'll tell that story in just a minute, but we fought constantly about money, and Karen would say, "You're just a spendthrift." And I'd say, "You're a tightwad. You're the kind of person you're going to die with all your money in a mattress and nobody's going to love you." And she said, "Well, at least I'll have a mattress." Ooh. So you're better if you're different. You're better off if you have a different money language. So Karen and I make a great team. Now, we didn't know it back then. We judged each other. We rejected each other. We fought like cats and dogs. But see, we make great decisions together. So what is important to me, this is just an example of, kind of the conversation we have. So I said to Karen, I want to take our family to Disneyland. And Karen said, I don't want to go into debt to take our family to Disneyland. And I said, well, I don't either, Karen, but I want to take our family to Disneyland. She said, well, as soon as we have the money, we'll go to Disneyland. And I said, well, okay, let's begin to save to go to Disneyland. Okay, so we did. Now, this is after we got over the fighting stage. And so, in other words, she didn't want to go into debt to go on vacation, okay? I would have put it on a credit card, okay? So we made a decision to save until we could. So we go to Disneyland, and I always get emotional when I tell this story. I've got the little picture at home. But we go to Disneyland, and so our granddaughters all go into the Bippity Boppity Boutique and get their hair all done, get glitter all over their face. And they come walking out. That's what money means to me. But we didn't go into debt. So Karen was happy. Well, that's the good thing about it. So, I need Karen Evans in my life. And she irritated me to death for years. But I didn't see, you're wired to see money a certain way, and you can't shame each other out of it. What's wrong with you? It's nothing wrong with you, it's just the way you see money. But you have a weakness and a strength, and that's why you need each other. If you have the same money language, sometimes you need to have somebody from the outside to help speak into your finances. But mutual respect is very important. Number 2, shared control. No one dominates the money, okay? You make all your decisions together. And here's how to know when someone's controlling the finances. Significant financial decisions are made without agreement or even discussion. When I first started counseling, I had a couple. I think it was her uncle died, left her $30,000. And the husband took control of it, bought himself a new pickup and a bunch of stuff he needed, put the rest in savings. She wanted to buy a sofa and some curtains, and he said, we don't have the money. That's sisterhood, man, I'm telling you right now. So we don't make significant financial decisions without each other. Marriage is about sharing. It doesn't matter who earns the money. It belongs to both of us. Doesn't matter. I'm the breadwinner in our family. And we never talk about control of the finances because we share the control. Here's how to know that someone's controlling it is one spouse makes the other pay a price for disagreeing with them or stating their opinion. Now, this is dominance, and I was very dominant when Karen and I first got married. Okay, so when you have to pay a price for disagreeing, that's called control. And so when Karen and I make decisions, and I'll talk about it more in just a minute, when we make decisions together, we never punish each other. If Karen disagrees with me, if I say I want to do this and she says no, it's great. You know, I'm not going to, it's not worth paying the price for going alone without your spouse. It violates the unity, the intimacy of the relationship. One other thing, one spouse is uninformed about significant areas of the finances. Withholding information is a form of control. I'm just not going to tell you what's going on. I have a friend, and this is a wonderful couple, have a wonderful marriage, and I have a friend that he has a business that he started in his garage that 30 years later sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. And while he was building this business, his wife never knew anything about the finances. She was raising kids, she was busy, but she would ask him questions. You know, well, what about this and this? Well, it kind of irritated him because he was thinking, I've got a massive business that I'm building here. She doesn't know what's going on. And she can't possibly understand, so he just didn't answer her questions. Well, one day she got mad enough that he came to see me. And he said, hey, Jimmy, my wife is constantly wanting to know about the finances, and I just don't think she can understand it. And I said, well, she's the co-owner of it, isn't she? And he said, what? I said, you didn't build that business. You both built that business. She was at home raising your children and taking care of your home and supporting you while you were building that business. And I said, here's what you need to do. You need to have a meeting with her every week where you sit down with her and you tell her, I'll answer any question. You can have any information you want about our finances. And he just kind of stared at me and I said, do it. So he about 6 months later, we were talking, and this is a guy that I know real well. And he said, hey, I need to tell you something. I said, what? And he said, you know, you told me to do that deal with my wife and have that meeting with her every week. He said, that has completely changed our marriage. He said, first of all, I didn't. Realize how much it was affecting her that she didn't know anything. He said, but the other thing is, she is so smart. He said, I'm shocked. You know, really? He just thought she's a little housewife raising kids and all that stuff. I'm shocked at how smart she is. But here's the point. No one should be more intelligent in the relationship financially than the other one. And if one person is more intelligent, it's their responsibility to bring the other person up, not to demean them, not to put them down, and not to use the information against them. And so to every man here, when you die, your wife should know everything about the finances, having been a partner through the entire process.